CNN, go ahead and respond. This has really gone viral on social media. Last night, we had a pretty intense conversation about gun rules and gun control in this country. And one of the discussions has caused a social media firestorm. Columnist David Sirota wrote an article pointing out that in many of the recent mass shootings, the gunman has been a white man or a teenager. Columbine, Tucson, Aurora, and now in Newtown. Would our conversations be different if Adam Lanza had been black or Muslim? David Sirota says they would. Are you saying that we should start profiling white men?
Well, I think we should ask the question, why is America 30% white guys and 70% of the mass shootings in the last many decades have been at the hands of white guys? I'm not saying we should racially profile white guys, but I do think it's interesting to note that had 70% of mass shooters been, let's say, Arabs or African-American men, I think the conversation right now would be a very different conversation where we'd be having a much less nuanced, a much uglier conversation. And I think that we need to be asking the question right now I think we need to be asking the question about why the composite is so similar. Why are 70% of these mass shootings at the hands of white men? Is not to say that they should be racially profiled, but to ask the question, why is the composite so similar? Let's explore that. Let's ask that question because it's an important question in light of a political climate right now where there's a lot of what I've called the white victimization narrative out there. This idea that white people are being kept down, this idea that white people are being oppressed. Does this have anything to do with this? I think it's worth asking the question.
And you wrote an article for, was it Slate?
Salon.
You wrote an article for Salon.com, and in the article you said what I've heard a number of people say: if the victim was a black male, he'd be a thug. If the victim was a Muslim, he would be a terrorist. I mean, if the suspect or the shooters in either of these cases were either black, thug, Muslim, terrorist, and you mirrored that in your article.
Yeah, and I think that it's good that we're having a nuanced conversation about all sorts of things, mental illness, gun control, et cetera, but I hope that the next time something bad happens, and unfortunately there will be a next time, that if it's not a white guy, that we remember that we shouldn't ascribe to entire groups the bad actions of individuals.
David Sirota last night. If you want to read more, check out Sirota's article on time to profile white men. It's on Salon.com. Winter storms